Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the Vegetology live stream with the beautiful Jen Oliver and myself, the not so beautiful Matt Edmondson. How are you all doing this afternoon? It's great that you're here. Jen, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to be back doing lives in 2022.
It's the first one.
hmm
It is the first one after the. I don't know if you can say, is it too late in the year now to say to people, Happy New Year, how was your Christmas? Do you know what I mean? There's a line, isn't there, where you just don't talk about it anymore. Everyone's moved on,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't
think
know if
last
we've
week,
hit
the
that.
end of last week, a few times I said to people that I hadn't seen, Happy New Year. Is it too late to say that?
I just don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, Happy New Year. Let's assume that it isn't, and if it is, I forgive the offence because it just is what it is. But welcome to the first live stream 2022. I'm excited to be here. I don't know how everyone else's Christmas was. We've had some pretty significant changes at Vegetology HQ over the break, to say the least. We have moved our warehouse, which Jen, I have a photo of Jen. I don't know if I can share it. I have a photo of Jen getting all A team. We got this slow mo video, didn't we, of you with a grinder chugging away it and metal
Oh, it was
sparks
lots of
flying
fun.
everywhere. Yeah, it was great. And your kids, am I right in saying your kids didn't believe you and you told them what you'd done and we had to show them the video as proof?
Yep. Yep, they didn't believe me.
Yeah, we've all donned our overalls and we've all done things that we maybe wouldn't ordinarily do during the day. But the new warehouse is looking great, and we're almost there. We're almost there. The good news is, Jen, the office is all sealed and warm.
Hooray!
That took us a little time because it was a bit Baltic for a little while. So anyway, how was your Christmas? I hope your Christmas was good. I hope your break was good. I hope you're feeling fresh and refreshed. And if you are watching this live, do say hi in the comments. Be great to hear from you. We have Sadaf, who's another part of our team here at Vegetology HQ in Liverpool. She's moderating in the comments, so she will say hi back. Do join us. And if you've got any questions, ask them for Jen. Just say, Dear Jen, what's the answer to? Don't ask me, ask Jen. And put that in the comments and we'll try and answer any questions that you have as we go along. So, yes, that's the plan. That's the aim. So, what are we talking about, Jen, on today's live stream?
So, we're going to talk about sleep and whether supplements can help with sleep. Are you a good sleeper, Matt? Do you fall asleep easily? Do you stay asleep?
That's a really good question. I think I've gone through seasons. So I remember one time early on in my marriage to my beautiful wife, Sharon, there was one time I was so fast asleep, right? There was this huge commotion going on outside our house. We lived in this sort of terraced house in Liverpool. So the front window, our bedroom window, was on the street. And there was, in the house on the opposite side, there was a chap who'd brought home what can only be described as a lady from one of the oldest professions of time. Let's just put it that way. And things weren't going well. And this lady was not happy, threw a chair out of their bedroom window, which was opposite our bedroom window, leaned out the window, was crying for help. They were both very drunk. They were both off their head. The police came. Neighbours were outside. Sharon's going outside and see what happens. I slept through the whole thing.
Brilliant.
Did not know a thing about it until the following day, and Sharon's telling me, and I'm like, are you serious? How did I sleep through that? Fast forward a few years. We've been married. How long have you and Dave been married?
20 years in a couple of months.
Congratulations. I think we're a bit ahead. I think we're 23
Mhm.
years this year. I really should know. Maybe we're 24. We're somewhere around there. And so if I fast forward 20 odd years in our marriage, I don't sleep like that anymore. And there was a time, maybe about 18 months ago, I was sleeping very badly. People in the office would say to me, Matt, why are you emailing me at 3 o'clock in the morning? I mean, apart from the fact 3 o'clock in the morning is a great time to work because nobody bothers you and you get loads done. There were times when I just couldn't sleep. And so I would be up into the wee crazy hours. So I think I've had an off and on relationship with it. How about you, Jen?
So I tend to struggle to fall asleep but then once I'm asleep, I sleep really well. It's just
That's it.
sometimes it can take a good while. I think I snore really badly.
I have wondered what that sound was late at night.
My poor husband, which has been something that has happened probably it's probably been on and off, but the last few years. And I've literally done everything I can. There's nothing I can do. So if we can develop an anti-snoring supplement, that would be
That would be.
amazing.
I think we'd sell
Watching
out.
at all.
Yeah, I think we'd sell out. I think we would sell out. And I'm not going to tell tales on whether my wife snores in bed or not. But I do feel for your husband. Let's just put it that way. I do feel for
But
him.
in terms of sleeping, it's the falling asleep that I struggle with. But once I am asleep, I tend to stay asleep.
Okay. Have you always
And I
been
know
like that?
that's not always the case for people. So we did a bit of research, didn't we? And 1 in 3 people apparently suffer with or have poor sleep, which
Yeah.
is a lot of us.
It is. And this one of the things that I noticed right at the start of the pandemic was the incidence of people not sleeping was dramatically higher. So when it started and there was the anxiety of it, what does this all mean, etc., people were just not sleeping very well at all. And that almost became a mini epidemic in its own right. You know, the sort of people just were struggling to sleep and to sleep well. And I think lockdown, the lack of exercise, just sitting at home eating, do you know what I mean? I think that's had knock-on effects on our health, and I think it's had knock-on effects on our sleep, at least from my anecdotal evidence. And so yeah, I think I'll be surprised actually if it's because it was 1 in 3, I think, before the pandemic. I wonder if it's still that low. I do wonder if it's a little bit higher actually now since the pandemic. I don't know. I've not seen any stats recently. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Everyone struggles with sleep at some point.
Yeah.
And it's
Apparently, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, it's one of those things that when you don't sleep well, it badly affects everything. It's not like you can disguise it. Do you know what I mean? And you just it badly affects everything. To the point now where if we have a bad night's sleep, I think back to when our kids were younger and go, how in the world did I survive that?
Oh, I know. I know.
It's crazy. It's like I had a special grace when our kids were younger to be able to cope with the sleepless nights a bit better. But yeah, there was a guy in the warehouse today, a guy called Rob, lovely guy, he's one of the electricians that's been doing a lot of electrics in the new warehouse. And he was putting this, the last thing he was doing this light fitting. And I'd not seen him since last week. And I said, hey, how you doing? And he was so excited because his first child was born at the weekend. He had his little baby daughter. Showed me the video. Beautiful little girl. And he had this beautiful little daughter, but he was like this. And I'm like, dude, are you safe to do the electrics? Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How did we do it back then with kids? Because I struggle now.
Yeah, I know. So, if you have a bad sleep, the next day you're often tired, you struggle to concentrate, you might become a bit irritable. So you've got the short-term effects of it, but in the long term, you're more at risk of heart disease, developing diabetes, gaining weight. There's so many knock-on effects for being, chronically in deficit with sleep. And the NHS recommend that you need about 8 hours a night. Some might need slightly more, some adults need slightly less, but that's quite a lot of sleep, really. And there's probably a lot of us that don't get anywhere near 8 hours. So it is something to prioritize, I think, as well as, when you're thinking about your overall health, you need to include your sleep health in that as well.
You do. Rest and sleep are such an important part of health. Such an important part. I used to be, I joke about this now, but I used to be of the mindset when people ask me about sleep, it's like, yeah, I'd get about 7 or 8 hours a night. But my relationship with sleep was quite funny in terms of when I sat down with my pen and paper and sort of journaled about it and thought, what do I actually think about sleep? Right? How do I feel about it? And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed feeling refreshed, and I liked it when I got a good night's sleep. But if there was any way, right, I could have found a way to get away with only sleeping 4 hours a night instead of 8, I tried a lot of experiments. I tried biphasic sleeping and all that kind of stuff, just so I could reduce the actual amount of time I spent during the day asleep. Because while sleep was nice and good, in my head, it was an utter waste of time. I mean, an utter waste of time. And it stopped me getting stuff done. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I had this, when I realized that's kind of how I viewed sleep, I thought that's probably not helpful from a psychological point of view to sort of think about sleep like that. So I have changed my thinking about it recently. But yeah, I was like that. I was like, 8 hours, okay, I've got to have 8 hours, otherwise I'm no good to the whole world. How do I get away with 7? How do I get away with 6? Could I get away with... I'd read stories, Margaret Thatcher was famous, wasn't she, sleeping 3 or 4 hours a night. How did she do that? And, everyone just... I was just like, there's just no way I could do it. I genuinely... and I'm in awe at people that can sleep 6 hours a night and think, if only I could gain an extra 2 hours a day. Do you know what I mean?
I know. So supplements and sleep. Can supplements help with sleep?
Yes.
Yes, they can. So we should.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing the live stream. Let's just be real.
Yeah. So, but we should point out the different supplements we're going to talk about today aren't a cure for sleep. They are a part of a bigger picture. So you can't be drinking a load of caffeine and staying on screens till really late and then expecting your supplements to work wonders. It's all part of a picture. So we're told, aren't we, to have a regular bedtime, to develop a bedtime routine, to stay off screens. If you're affected by caffeine, don't have it after a certain time. There's lots of things we're told to do. Exercise. For some people, it might be just writing a list of things that are going to keep them awake. There's lots of practical things we can do. But actually, in terms of vitamins and minerals, there are a few key ones that it's worth making sure you've got those, because they can help with your sleep. So, that's just a little... We'll just point that out now.
Yeah, this is not a cure. This is not a cure. But I would say that when I struggled with sleep... and when I was having sleepless times, the majority of the time for me was because of food I had eaten up until that point. And it took me a while to figure out what foods were affecting me and what foods were not. And it was just, I think it was an age thing. It was just, for whatever reason, foods that I was normally okay with just started keeping me awake suddenly. And so I was... I get the point that actually your gut, your food, your diet has a significant impact on your diet. I don't think it's the only thing that has an impact on your sleep, but I do think it has a significant impact. So I think you're right. It's not a cure. It is part of a much bigger picture. So that caveat aside, so we can't get sued now, which is always important. What supplements should we be thinking about?
So you can get your next slide up. I think one to definitely take is our VegVit, our multivitamin.
Hang on, let's see if I can
and you can all have a sneak peek at the new packaging, the new pouch that's going to come. It's lovely, isn't it?
It is lovely. And can I just say, I don't know if the portions are correct in this image, i.e. the bottle looks tiny and the pouch looks massive.
I know, I don't think it's going to be quite like that.
It's not going to be like that. But we are getting some new pouches made. We're getting some samples made at the moment, aren't we? So yeah, we're getting samples made at the moment, printed off. So the new pouches will be coming soon. Keep an eye out for that. The new labels will start appearing on the bottles very soon as well, which you saw there. So keep an eye out for those. But VegVit, that was the reason you told me to put that slide on.
Yeah. So VegVit, there are a few key minerals that are needed. So and VegVit contains these. Obviously, you'll get them from a well-balanced diet, but like we've talked about on these lives before with Chris, you can't always guarantee you're getting the quantities your body needs. So it's worth supplementing with a multivit. So a few of them just to highlight. There's iron. So remember back to your human biology days. Iron.
No, it was a long time ago for me, Jen. I'm not going to lie.
Iron basically is part of your red blood cells, and it helps to carry oxygen around your body. So when you haven't got enough iron, you're not going to get the oxygen circulating as it should, so you're going to be tired, which can lead to, and also a lack of iron can lead to anemia, where you are deficient and you often need to, get serious supplements of iron, solely iron for that. But anemia can, or a lack of iron, you can end up developing things called conditions like restless leg syndrome. At night, it can just make you.
Talk to my wife about that.
Yeah, you're just not as settled, not as relaxed. So obviously iron is a key one for, energy in the day and also sleeping well. Magnesium. So that helps to relax your muscles, helps to relieve tension, which, let's face it, we all need that before we're going to bed, don't we?
As does a good massage. That's
Yeah. Which would you go for, magnesium or a massage?
Both. Just go for both.
Yeah. And this was something I learned when we were thinking about this live. Magnesium helps your body to produce melatonin, which is, needed for sleep. So that goes hand in hand, those two together. So there's not melatonin in VegFit, but actually your body needs the magnesium to help produce the melatonin. So that's key. Calcium helps in the production of melatonin as well. So you need to make sure you've got enough calcium. And the last one is potassium, and that is believed to help you stay asleep. So that helps wards against insomnia. So these different minerals play a role in getting you ready for sleep, helping your body to, in those processes that help you to sleep, but then also keeping you asleep. So it's really good. It's a good all-rounder VegFit to hit those key minerals. So I bet people didn't know that you needed all those for sleep.
A lot of EMs, a lot of magnesium, calcium, potassium, a lot of EMs to help you sleep better. And I have to be honest with you, I take VegFit every day. It's my go-to multivitamin. And I know some people oscillate with the Active Energy and the VegFit, or the different ones. I don't need Pregnavit for obvious reasons. So I stick with the VegFit. It's what I do. It does well for me, and I do notice actually, sleep is good for me right now, and I am on these supplements. So I'm not saying it's causative. I'm just saying there is a correlation. Is that the right phrase? You're a scientist. You've got your PhD. There's causation and there's correlation in these sort of statistical type things, isn't there? That we just have to be careful with what we say.
Yeah, so I'd probably say correlation in this instance. Yeah. I guess you'd have to test your theory by stopping to take VegFit, but you'd have to keep all your other variables the same.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. No.
It's not worth risking a good night's sleep, is it?
No. I'm team veg to the core, but there's no way. I'm just happy at the moment. So let's just leave it alone. I find it. Did you ever watch on the BBC a couple of years ago? There was a program called The Truth About Sleep by Dr. I can't remember the chap's name now. Oh, it'll come back to me. Anyway, this doctor who suffered from chronic insomnia did a TV show called The Truth About Sleep. And so as a doctor, he went through and figured out a whole bunch of stuff about sleep. And you would expect, he talked about nighttime routines. He talked about morning routines and the importance of those. My nighttime routine, until I figured this out, was I'm going to work, stop, sleep. There was no, do you know what I mean? That was my routine.
No wind down.
There was no period in between those, which obviously was crazy. But yeah, he talks about those, but he also talks about the importance of supplements, and he talked about that in that program. And I did check actually before it came online. It's no longer on iPlayer, which is a bit of a shame. But there are plenty of people that talk about it and what he talked about on that show. But in there, he talked about the importance of supplements, and especially keeping your gut in good condition. Fiber and all those kind of things really help. Prebiotics, possibly there's a link there as well.
Yeah.
So have a look at it.
Yeah. So the other supplement to think about taking, which we often talk about taking for your immunity, for
Oh, hang on, let me guess what it's going to be.
your teeth health, your bone health, your, go on.
It's vitamin D. It's got to be.
It is.
Because, it's every time, I feel like every time we do a live stream, we come on and basically say vitamin D is just vitamin D. It's what you need. It's just you need vitamin D. It's like
we're just going to elevate vitamin D a little bit higher because it's linked with a deficiency is linked with disturbed sleep.
There you go.
So just another reason to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D.
Absolutely. And I take my vitamin D religiously every day.
So what strength do you take?
I just take the 1,000 one, the 1,000 IU.
Yeah.
Because I'm in England. You're in England. We're both in Liverpool. We're in the Northern Hemisphere. I need a boost, but I don't need the super boost. Do you know what I mean? Of the 2,500, and the 1,000 does.
I use the spray. I like the spray.
Oh dear.
Vegetology spray. I use that.
Okay. I don't know. I just take the tablet. It's a chewable tablet. And I don't even chew it because I take the omega-3, I take the vitamin D, and I take the VegVit. And of course, the omega-3 and the VegVit, you don't want to chew the VegVit, just swallow it. It's just, and so I'm just like, I just throw it in, down it goes. I don't even think to chew it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the only one.
Yeah, so vitamin D is worth looking at if you find you're waking up in the night, making sure. And again, with all these supplements, a prolonged taking of them is you're going to notice more benefit. You're not necessarily going to notice a benefit if you take it once or twice every now and again.
Get it into your system, keep it there.
Yeah. Get the levels up in your body and you'll notice more of a benefit.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's interesting. What I do find fascinating, and maybe this has got some link to do with vitamin D, is in the winter time, there's this, I don't know if you're like me, I just feel like hibernating. I want to sleep. I want to sleep longer. Do you know what I mean? And I find it harder to get up in the mornings when it's dark outside. Do you know what I mean? There's something about that waking up with natural light, which I find super, super helpful. I mean, super helpful. And so you can see how there's a link with all of these things, can't you? And it's coming up to spring, so, we're starting to get excited.
Cool. And then, so the final set of vitamins that are probably good to consider, so we talk about vitamin B12. We've got a vitamin B12 supplement. And we know that can help provide energy, but there's the vitamin B12 complex that includes a lot of different vitamin B's numbers like 5, 9, 12, etc. So they all have different roles in helping with sleep as well. And so it's worth mentioning our active energy complex that is made up of all the vitamin B complex and also some adaptogenic herbs. And together, we coin it as a caffeine alternative. It helps give you energy in the day, and that's through the B complex, but then also helps to slow your metabolism at night to help aid sleep. So it can just help regulate your body clock. So that's another one that's worth taking. But if you want to take that and VegVit, just alternate them. Take one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday, But yeah, so that's really worth thinking about. Making sure that all the vitamin B's, you've got enough of those. And also this contains special herbs to help you sleep at night.
What did you call them? The
adaptogenic herbs.
Adaptogenic, that's the word I was thinking of.
I'm not going to pronounce them. I think it's rhodiola. I'm not sure. We need Chris for the pronunciation of these herbs.
Yeah. You and Chris are both very, very clever people, and I feel slightly intellectually inadequate when I'm around the pair of you. I have no idea how to pronounce half of these words. And Chris isn't here. Can I say this on the live stream? Sometimes I do question, are these real words or are they just made up? I don't.
And he just says them with confidence.
Yeah. I'm sure they're genuine words, by the way. I'm just messing. But yeah, so the vitamin B complex, which is in active energy, can also help you. It's got a complex of vitamin B's in there, as well as just that, it's not just, so what you're saying is it's not just about taking the vitamin B12 try taking the complex. That
Yeah.
sounds slightly intuitive to have something called active energy to help you sleep. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It does.
I think it can confuse people. So it's all
Yeah.
about regulating your body clock. So obviously, if you're not sleeping well at night, you're going to be tired in the day. So you want something to help you to focus, to give you energy in the day, but then also to help you to wind down enough to get that sleep to restore you for the next day. So this is a really good one. And people often say it doesn't take long for them to feel a benefit from active energy. But again, taking it for a longer period of time, you'll notice more of a benefit. Because we often get asked that question, how long will it take for me to get a boost? And it does differ from person to person, but it can take, a couple of days. So that's worth a try if you find that you're not sleeping and you're really tired in the day. Active energy would be a good one to try.
Yeah, that's really a really interesting point. And just to reiterate, active energy does not contain caffeine. It is a caffeine alternative.
Yeah, it's a great caffeine. I don't know if you're like me, Matt. I can have 1 or 2 cups of caffeinated tea in the morning and then I've got to go decaf. Otherwise, I'm wide awake.
Really? I have 1 cup of tea a day. I have it in the morning and that's it. And I know if I drink caffeine anytime sort of after 2-3 p.m. it's no good for me. So I think I have a real caffeine sensitivity, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
And so 1 cup of tea a day, otherwise it affects me. I get the shakes. I'm like this.
Yeah.
And so it's a good thing.
If anyone else is like that, try active energy because it will help give you that boost as opposed to you wanting to reach for some caffeine.
Yeah. My son actually takes active energy. Zach, he's super. I mean, he's genuinely active. He likes it because it's called active energy, and it fits in with his persona of I'm Mr. Active, Mr. Gym guy. And so and again, I think he'll notice the difference when he has noticed difference because he's been taking it more regularly, if that makes sense, rather than off and on. And we all take our vitamins first thing in the morning with breakfast. So.
But it can be a bit of a vicious cycle, can't it? If you don't sleep well, you don't necessarily feel like exercising, but actually exercising is one of the things that will help you sleep better.
Yeah.
So combining that with active energy probably might give you, and it's pushing yourself mentally to do that workout, to move your body so that you do
stretch.
Sleep a bit better at night.
Yeah, definitely do. One of the key things for me in all of this that I thought about, going back to my work, sleep, I was trying to live this binary life. I was on and then I was off, but when you look at nature, and we like to look at nature, it's in our nature, and we love to look at nature for our supplements. Nature's more of a sine curve, isn't it? It's more analog. And so I found that my daytime routine needed to follow that. Do you know what I mean? That I needed to have a morning routine, get into the day, and I needed to have a nighttime routine to take me into the night. There needed to be this transition. Nature has a transition, dawn and dusk, right? Where things do help us prepare. So I don't know if that's helpful for anybody, but it really helped me. Dawn and dusk, you've got to have your routines. You've got to have this transition time. And they last about 70 minutes. It's not, dawn and dusk is not a 7-second thing. Oh, I've got my pajamas on and brush my teeth, I'm good, right? No. It's about 70 minutes. And so if you can use that, have at it. Okay, so this has all been leading up to one big thing, Jen, I have no doubt, because we just, this is how planned we are. Shall we tell the good folks about what's coming up?
Yes, we have a brand new product coming dedicated to sleep.
We do following the pandemic issues with sleep. We thought we'd attack this head on, so there's a new supplement coming called Deep Sleep. At the moment it's called Deep Sleep. It may change. On Adam's spreadsheet, it's called Deep Sleep, which probably means it will stay as Deep Sleep until somebody goes, probably, no, we need a different name or something like that. But at the moment, it's called Deep Sleep. And so, we're super excited by this, actually. because I think there is such a problem with people not being able to sleep at the moment. And so it's not the cure. It's part of, helping you sleep better. It's going to be part of the bigger picture. We'll put a whole load of content on the site about it as we get there. But yeah, that's all been developed. So now we're just working on the designs. We're just working on the packaging. We've got to get it in production, because that takes a little bit of planning and thinking about. But it is coming. So deep sleep.
I'm really excited about it because this is designed to help induce calmness, reduce anxiety before you go into bed, help you relax. And that's the time that I struggle to fall asleep. So I'm really hopeful that deep sleep will help that. So again, it contains some of these adaptogenic herbs and some key vitamins and minerals to help your body prepare for a good night's sleep. So I'm really excited about trying this one.
Yeah, I bet you are. One of the questions here is it for kids too? That's a very good question. Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer actually. But lots of kids do struggle with sleep, definitely. And I think the levels of anxiety in kids has gone up as well. And so they will struggle at, bedtime to wind down too. So we'll have to get back to people with that.
Sadaf here has put in the chat, I need my kids to be calm. I'm like, so we'll find. Actually, that's a really good question. And off the top of my head, I don't know where we're up to with that whole thing with kids. The kids can take just about everything that we do, as far as I'm aware. So I don't think this would be any different. I think it would be more of an issue of how we package it. So if it's a big tablet, you don't want a young kid to take that at all, which is why we do stuff in formula. Now, in liquids. I haven't had it yet, but Chris sent me a very exciting email. And this is not to do with deep sleep. This is to do with talking of kids. He sent me an email saying, Matt, we think we've cracked the kids' chewable multivitamin. I'm going to send some samples to you. Try them and let's start getting a load of feedback. So Chris they've not arrived yet, but I'm imagining that they'll be arriving any day. The new chewable multivit for kids, which we're doing. Chris will talk more about this on one of the live streams. Trying to crack this it's like trying to solve some major world problem, it seems, because it's just the flavoring, and because the vitamin contains iron. How do you flavor the vitamin without using sugar? Because obviously we don't want to cram this thing full of sugar, in a way that kids are going to take it, that helps disguise the taste of because iron's not a very pleasant tasting thing. And so it's been complicated. And there was this one time when they were trying in the labs, I don't know if you saw this, they were trying the powders, and it made Chris's mouth like ultra purple. And so I thought, actually, this might be a really good selling point, but apparently we've not gone down this road. It tasted great, but your mouth just went like a blueberry, which was just fantastic. So yes.
But that's great if that's nearly ready, because if you have got a child who's struggling with sleep, like we've talked about, the kids multivit will contain all those minerals that we've talked about that are in VegFit, plus you could give them the vitamin D3 spray. And at least you can be making sure that they've got all those key vitamins and minerals to help promote sleep, as well as doing, as well as making sure your nighttime routine is calm, all those sorts of things. But it's great that is nearly ready. Super exciting.
Yeah, well, watch your space. Drum roll. We just don't know, do we? We'll find out. Hopefully by the time we talk to you next time, we'll know a little bit more. The other thing I have to tell you, Jen, and again, for you good folks, if you we are going to end in just a little bit. Sadaf has put here in the comments, she's volunteering her kids for the experiment. So, so that's
Sign
good
them up.
There, we're going to see if we can turn their mouths purple. I've completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was going to say.
I don't know if you had one more thing to tell me.
Yeah, if you've made it to the end. There was some kind of trainers. Oh, that's right. I remember now. So if you have made it to the end, one, thank you for sticking with us this far. And two, we have got some videos coming from Lizzie Harris. right? This is nothing to do with sleep. This is all to do with Lizzie Harris, who is one of the world's most beautiful people. She is just lovely. I've known Lizzie since she was a kid, actually. And so Lizzie bakes the most incredible food. I mean, just out of this world type food. And so we've asked Lizzie to join with us a little bit. And so we're going to start putting on the website some videos soon on how to, bake things like vegan brownies was one of them, and the pancakes.
Triple chocolate vegan brownies.
Can I just say, Jen, I went round to Lizzie's house because we had trouble getting the video from Lizzie over the web.
A brownie.
She gave me a whole tray of them. So the tray that she cooked on the video, there was 2 batches, one of which she put in the fridge. She said, "Oh, here, take these, try them." They are lush, let me tell you. And she said to me, she said, "My kids love the brownies, but man alive, did they love the pancakes." So,
so I'm hoping to get the pancakes up on the website tomorrow or Thursday, so people could maybe invite people around Saturday morning and make vegan pancakes, American style pancakes for breakfast. So watch this space tomorrow. We'll put a little photo on social media as well with the link, but it's really exciting. I'm going to try them.
Yeah,
definitely.
She the way Lizzie was talking about them, I'm like, we've totally got to make those pancakes. But the brownies, I did try those.
Are there any brownies left? Can you bring them into the office tomorrow?
I will check. There may be, I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee anything. Sadaf tried them. I did. Sadaf came around to the house and she tried them and she said they were yum. So,
Great.
So yeah, I did take them into the office, but of course no one was there apart from me and Michelle and the guys in the warehouse. So we just had to eat loads of them. Just the way it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch this space. We've got the recipes coming. We've got so much good stuff coming up. So do stick with us. Do stay with us. We've got the recipes. We've got the new website. We've got the new products coming out. We've got the new packaging. Oh yes, 2022 is going to be an epic year. Just to big up what's coming ahead. So make sure you stay connected with us. Thank you so much for watching. I think, Jen, unless there's anything else from you, shall we call it time there?
Yeah. Have a good sleep tonight, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can't sleep, your brain's just going 10 to the dozen, just listen to maybe the last 10 minutes of this live stream and it'll just soothe you away. All right, bless you guys. We'll see you in the next. When is the next live stream?
It's on Tuesday and Chris will be joining us.
Next week. So we'll see you next week. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, bye for now.